Yeah, I've already got, we live yet? Huh? What up? Is the frequency control show still up? No, we should keep it because, oh, well, we're live. What up? Uh, well, because I feel like you got to be careful. I feel like I have to be careful what I talk about. So I'd rather, if we go live, I'd rather keep it about this mindset stuff. And then when you and I have private talks, we can talk about some other stuff. But welcome back to our show, What's the Frequency Control Show. I do kind of want to kind of keep talking about some of that stuff in your mindset. But I just want to talk about, first I want to start off I noticed it's easy to make excuses. And sometimes, some of the lessons are keeping in mind that you don't have to like the process. It's the end result you're chasing. And I started kind of making little excuses. I need extra money, and I got skill of eBay, but I'm making excuses myself because the gas prices are high, right? But I'm it's like it seems like it's easy to make excuses about gas prices high and having to drive so far to the best places to get stuff for eBay and making excuses. But when I really dialed it back, I only have to drive 2 days out the week because I have a job. So is it really that big a deal to do 2 days a week to be driving? It's not like I'm driving every day to the long distance to do that, right? Or I could even do it on one of my days off or something. Not even 2 days. I can't make the drive one day a week. So I had to scale down my own excuses to take a look at the bigger picture. And this is why it's kind of important to just kind of be in the moment and and, and pay attention, because I'm making excuses for something that I only have to do once a week or twice a week. So is it really that big a deal? No, it's not. But it's easy to make excuses and talk yourself out of it. And I don't know, man, it kind of hit me when it kind of clicked for me, that I'm like, wait, I can't do one a week. And then when I start seeing results, I can't do twice a week. So let me turn this down here. I'm just saying, be careful making excuses when there's nothing to make excuses about. That's the first thing. We haven't been live for a while. We kind of had some stuff going on. I've been going through some personal changes, some spiritual changes, some growth, some exciting stuff coming. That's the first, but excuses. The first thing I want to talk about. The second thing is, man, staying humble. I wish he's listening to this. Staying humble. I had my car break down for a little while. And I was catching the bus. And at first I thought it was an inconvenience to have to catch the bus because I'm so used to conveniently being able to drive to work. So at first I was kind of upset and frustrated. And then as I was catching the bus, I noticed walking to the bus, I was able to get into my thoughts and focus for the day. I was able to kind of listen to some soothing music as I'm on the bus and just getting ready for my day. So I started to notice that catching the bus, it wasn't an inconvenience. I actually enjoyed it. Like I actually thought about, man, I should have been doing this the whole time. I'm saving gas money. The bus is literally walking to it. It's literally less than a 5 minute walk, and it's less than it's like a 3 minute walk to my job. It was, and it comes at the perfect times. So it was it was really humbling, man, because I actually liked catching the bus. But to from where I started, just with the frustration, and then finding out I like catching the bus because I was able to spend more time in my thoughts and planning my plan of attack for the day, and preparing for my defense of the day, and preparing my gratitude that I have a job that allows me to sit at home and work on other things I'm into, get that gratitude piece. And then when I got my car working, it was completely a humbling experience because I felt like $1,000,000 again once I could drive after being inconvenienced at first. And I felt the same thing when I was sleeping in my car and I finally got into my apartment. And just that feeling of just being out of the vehicle, I just felt like nothing could stop me. And I got that again as soon as I got in my car. And as soon as I got my car back running, I did what I needed to do for the eBay stuff. And because there's no more excuses, because what I've learned is my convenience can be stripped away from me at any moment. So it's good to be it's good to be humbled. Like I'm almost like looking for other ways that can humble me, but not like lose everything, but just that feeling, man. Everybody needs to get humbled every once in a while because it's life changing. It makes you. I I appreciate my convenience of being able to drive. I appreciate having a nice vehicle that really doesn't break down. I'm just dumb when it comes to that kind of stuff. I could have had it fixed sooner, but that wasn't the lesson I needed. I needed this lesson. Like this was on purpose. It seems like because clearly I was way too caught up in my convenience because I was extremely frustrated. And I believe it's this new path I was walking that I'm being tested on things, tested of my faith, tested of my attitude, tested that everything's going to work out, tested that God's going to bless me, tested that it's, it's not a big deal. What am I getting angry for or frustrated for? Everything's going to work out. And I enjoyed it. So the excuses and the humbling, being humbled made me make less excuses because once I drove again, nothing can stop me. I can go anywhere. I'm not tied down. And just the lesson there is for myself. And I'm just talking about this, but it was a super important lesson that I learned that your convenience can be taken away at any moment. So appreciate it. And what are you doing with your time with it? It was just super, super humbling. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I kind of got them both in. you know, um, it's been a few weeks since we've been on. We've
Months.
been doing a lot of
Months.
growing.
It's been months.
I have that episode too. I haven't even sent it. Technically, we should have two of them after this one with this one, but man, it's been it's been an amazing couple weeks. It's been like 3 weeks since we've been on talking live, just in case you don't know. But it has been some up and down weeks. But now, but I've learned so much from being stripped of my convenience, and I'm kind of looking for ways to stay humble or get humbled again without losing everything, because it's life changing for me. And I 100% believe, I'm kind of being tested on some of the growth I've been going through to see if I've really grown and what gifts might be coming my way because of it. But that's that part. Dang, I didn't have anything after that. But oh, be grateful for what you have, because it can be gone at any moment. That's just something I've been wanting to talk about for a couple weeks, especially the excuses, because there's no time for excuses. We don't know how long we're going to have this freedom. So it's very valuable what we're doing with our time. It's it's very valuable what I'm doing with my time, because I'm trying to get to work from home here because I need to. And I'm not sure how long until things get all stirred up pretty crazy again. And I've had some amazing weeks. It's really exciting right now. Been learning a lot of stuff. So don't make excuses. Do what you got to do, because we don't know how long until our freedom is going to be stripped from us again. And I'm being real about that. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. I don't know. You got anything?
No, not really. You've said everything as far as things being stripped away. That's something I've always kept my finger on the pulse of. Is just you could lose it all. Like that's where I get so focused, and then my kids are like, "Dad, I just did this thing in this game, and I built this thing, and I need you to see it, or I drew this picture." And at first, I just go, "I'm trying to pay attention to something, I'm trying to learn this new thing," and I stop and I go, "If I lost my child, I would totally have wished I would have made a different decision at this time, and that decision would be to give him the undivided attention of me, because really at the end of the day that's all that matters." So why am I working so hard? It's for there to be there to give them more of my attention. So why is it that in pursuit of these things that I feel are the things that would give me the time to give them my undivided attention and not feel pressed for time, am I choosing to be frustrated that now I need to give them the time? So it's just super contradictory. It's ironic. It's backwards. And so every time it happens, I just go, it's just freaking morbid as it is. And I heard it from Gary Vee and didn't understand when he said it at the time. He just imagines, what if everybody was gone? What would I care about? And it really shakes you to your core, makes you really have to go get smacked around and go, this is what matters. So then I just stop. I'm patient and I go hang out with my children and I do my thing. But it's very, very important to understand your comforts, all the things you have, all that can go away at a moment's notice. One of my very, very helpful things I've had in my life is that I lived on the streets and I didn't have a home and I didn't have parents and I missed 90% of my Christmases. And I didn't have any of those things. And it was, I hope I get a meal and thank God for freaking free lunch at school. Those things help me to already be kind of grounded that way now, to where I already understand. I know what it's like to not have all that, and that can happen now. You know what I mean? That I can easily be on the bus. And part of me feels okay because I've been there. It's kind of like you feeling comfortable being on the bus because it's almost like that's familiar. Doesn't mean it's right though. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is what it is, and if you're still breathing air, you're doing good. But all those things can be taken away immediately. You think about, I don't want to say too much about this, but I had a few beers on a Super Bowl Sunday. I drove my car, and I mean, I had like a couple beers where it's not dangerous, but people say that and kill people all the time. But bottom line is, cops showed up, and I got out of the situation, and I was able to be just fine. But technically, I would have blown enough to get a Dewey, right? And I remember at that point in time, it was so humbling in the sense that all of my comforts, driving my car, being able to get a job if I needed to, gone because they'd see I had a DUI. Being able to get certain things, gone because I had a Dewey. But I don't have one, but like I could have easily gotten one. And everything that I know as a comfort and my leverage I have on my life and everything I built, like what was right there in front of me, like, man, I could be gone. Like just those little comforts of like, hell, being able to drive a car, having cheaper insurance, having, like, there's just so many things. Being able to do a side job if I wanted to do Uber on the side, can't do it because I want to go get a delivery job driving a FedEx truck, can't do it because I gotta like so all those things you just don't realize, even on a small level can be taken away immediately, and as simple as a flash, you know what I mean? Life and all that other stuff being much bigger than that, but everything you gotta humble yourself, but my thing is I'm not gonna live my whole life in like what could happen bad. I find myself doing that, looking at like, man, you better watch it, because this could happen. It's like, yep, I could shoot, my leg could fly off my thing, I get hit by a car, some guy could swerve like the big semi when I'm waiting at a stoplight, and the guy turning the corner could run right in front of my car and kill me. There's just so many things that could happen, but I choose to live my life as to let's navigate this and enjoy it while I can, savor it. It's almost like eating your ice cream and thinking, fuck, what if an ant crawled in here and I chewed into an ant and it bit me and I might be allergic and die. It's like you almost can get caught up overthinking what could go wrong. Why not enjoy and be grateful for the greatness that is happening as you're breathing every breath of air, going, oh my God, this is so great, I'm breathing, this is amazing, awesome. Not, oh my God, this could be my last breath. There's just a perspective to look at things and, understand that it can all be gone. So that much more be grateful for every breath you take, knowing that it can be gone. But don't sit there and constantly be like, reminding yourself this could be gone tomorrow. I could lose my family tomorrow. You know, the house could burn down tomorrow. I mean, you can't be caught up in the sky is falling. You have to go, I get it. That's behind me. It's part of my foundation of understanding and gratitude, but I need to breathe this air and savor it and enjoy it, and not be so concerned that I might never get it again. You know what I mean? If you spend your whole life going, this could happen, this could happen, did you really truly enjoy it and show gratitude for having it? Or were you so caught up in losing it and the fact that you were so like, I'm just so lucky to have this, I could lose this. It's like there's a mindset that could really throw you off. And for me, I just choose not to do that, you know. It's like I get it. I can lose it. I have lost it. I know what it's like, you know. It could get worse. But right now, it's good. Let's enjoy it. You know, we're too caught up in the mindset of being totally in the belief that it can all end tomorrow, but have a hard time believing it could all be 10 times better tomorrow. You know, it's easier for us to believe that we could fly our car off a cliff and everybody in your family dies, more than you can believe that you might see a unicorn and it has a bunch of money or whatever you need to make your life easier and smoother and even more cush. You know, might fall on a big old pile of cotton candy and eat it. You know, like we have an easier time believing that the worst can happen to us, and we get stuck in that. And it's so funny how we can't believe that something better can happen for us if that's your goals or whatever. Even if you choose that money's not your thing and blah blah blah, but whatever that money thing is or whatever it brings you for feeling and accomplishment or whatever that takes you to feel good and feel like you've done something or even help you in your journey in life, it's like we have a hard time believing something great can happen for us, and a real easy time, it comes with ease to think that hell, I could die right now, you know. So I just choose not to believe all the extra stuff. It's like, sure, I'm mortal, I'm dead tomorrow. You know, I think about my friends who passed, and it's like, and the conversations we were having just before they passed, and then it's like, man, they had no clue in 3 days they were gonna die. You know, like it's the craziest shit. But you know, I can't live my life worried about that shit. Yeah, I'm mortal, but I'm not gonna sit here all day and fucking hang out talking about how I'm mortal. You know, yeah, I'm mortal, but right now I'm alive. So I'm gonna go live, you know, and enjoy the fact that I can breathe, not talk about how I can't. What if I can't? What if I don't? What if, you know? It's like for me, it's a slippery slope, man. I'm here to enjoy it, love it, until it's not there. Too much time focusing on it could be all gone tomorrow. It's a tricky thing.
Mm. Appreciate everything now.
Yeah, and don't think about it could be gone tomorrow. You know, don't think about that because it will be gone whether you think about it being gone or not. You will get cancer tomorrow, whether you believe you can or not. It's gonna happen if it's gonna happen or not. So the bottom line is, sitting there like sky is falling until it falls, and then it finally falls. You're like, I knew it. It's like, well, yeah, well, it basically was falling the day you believed it was going to be falling. You were going through that trauma right then. Fuck it. I'm going to enjoy while the sky is still up in the air.
Life by focusing on that stuff.
I don't be thinking about that shit. I don't want to think about aborted babies in my food. I don't want to think of none of that shit. All that extra shit. I don't want to even sit there and dwell on go in that stupid wormhole. It's like eat as healthy as I can, do what I need to do, but I'm not gonna sit there freaking Illuminati and it's like, yeah, I get it. It's just way too scary. Everything's bigger. I was just watching a thing which I believe you need to watch because it was that crazy. The guy had just a dope angle on religion, aliens, and like how they all coincide, and how like obviously there is a god basically, based on this, like the way the aliens work and the way parallel fucking universes. It was just the craziest shit. It's the guy from Blink 182, and he's the one that made the government come out and admit that we have had UFOs here. But he's like, we always think that UFOs and all the aliens are from like the outside of our universe or like from some other thing because we don't realize that they're interdimensional. They're actually right here. And we think that they have to come from space, but they've been here the whole time. And we're thinking like, and he just breaks down like all this stuff and like understanding yourself and like spirituality. And anyway, and he breaks it down. It's Steve O's podcast with the guy from Blink 182, and it's this guy. He articulates it so well. It's at least worth listening to. Because I was like, whoa, these breaking it down like crazy good. Like, I've never heard it broke down so well. Because everything he was saying, most people would be like, get the hell out of here. That's craziness. But he breaks it down like in some crazy I was like, wow, that's worth a conversation and a half. You're like, oh, I've never heard it broken down like that. It's so crazy. Most people are like, yeah, flag saucer, they got to have spaceships. Like, and this guy just, I mean, he literally breaks down like how it all intertwines into religion. It was pretty wild. Like how, like, duh, it is there. Don't you think it's bigger? We have to understand. It was even went into a little bit of how you were talking about, like, religion doesn't have to be all peaches and cream and we're going to heaven and floating around on clouds. It is fire and brimstone, and it is like heavy duty. This is bigger than way bigger than us, and we're over here thinking that no, but God forgives and blah blah blah. Like it's just like way bigger, and it was literally him breaking that with the alien thing, and then breaking it into religion. It was super crazy. You got to watch it. It's Steve O's Wild Ride podcast with the guy from Blink 182, and he gets into this stuff. And I mean, he's the guy who proved that we have found UFOs, and the government made the government admit to it. He's the one. You know, he just happened to be a rock star who had enough money to put research in and decided that he's so into it, and then stumbled on some real shit, you know, and was like, whoa, like, he's like, I'm just a stoner, and all of a sudden had one that got hella stoned and, like, was like, oh my God, I think I figured some shit out, you know, and it happened to be legit. As soon as he started talking to people, like, well, how do you know this? Who are you for real? You know, you're not just a rock star, like, anyway, it's better than I can't explain it well because I didn't get to finish the whole thing. But man, he was dropping gem after gem after gem, and I was like, wow. I would normally be like, this guy is smoking some crazy stuff, right? But he was like, he could break it down and articulate it well to where it was easy to wrap your head around, even time, space, and all this like craziness, like, and how we could move around and stuff from dimension to dimension, like, and then how that still would relate to religion. Like, he was able to tie it, like, the meaning of everything together. I was like blown away. And even Steve-O, who's like very skeptical, was like, whoa. He's like, okay, I can't even argue that. That's like really well broken down. I mean, this guy was amazingly doing that. It was, I'm like, it's put it this way, it's like 2 hours, and I'm like, I'm going to find the 2 hours to finish that because that's amazing. Just, I was shipping packages and was like hearing it in the background, I'm going, whoa, it stopped. But everything, I was like, normally I'd be like, yeah, he believes in spaceships, moving on. And I'm sure they're out there. I'm not denying it. But the way he broke it down into religion and how, like, any sort of life form works, and how our energies work, and how the, like, everything we're giving off from vibration, like, he was like breaking it. I was like, that's nutty, man. How we could literally tap into all this stuff, and like where that gets in with the religion. I was like, that is some pretty wild stuff. And like how, like, maybe the Bible was helping us navigate some of that stuff. Like it's just, there was some really cool angles on like a bunch of that stuff, and a lot of it ties into some of the stuff you say that sounds a little wild, but it's like, oh, okay. He breaks it down to where, like, you see how, like, scientifically, he goes, of course there's science, duh, that's kind of part of the whole thing. That's part of how it all works. Like, just because you're breaking down how the molecules work, you're not figuring out the spiritual side of all this stuff, and then breaking down how, like, it's clear that there's something way more grand than us that we cannot wrap our head around, and it's so powerful that we can't explain, you know. We think that we're so bold to just be like, we're gonna figure out what it is when we're probably never gonna, like by the time we will be dead type thing, But it's pretty insane, The like the way he does it, I was like, those were gems on tops of gem. Like I was like, how does someone intertwine space, alien thoughts? So scientists say no aliens. They like that's craziness. Scientists say no religion. That's craziness. Religion says science. That's not right. Blah, blah, blah. All this like defies each other, but he was able to intertwine all of these things, which we know to be real, right? We know we deal with religion. We know spirituality. To at least we feel spiritually. We can feel this, and we know science. It seems to work. Like break down. We can break down what's happening chemically with whatever, and then we know that now it's been proven that there's actual unidentified things that can move and defy all our knowledge of like physics, and he's able to tie all of it together and break down it's the most wild shit. Even other universes and how they connect, bro. I would normally just be like, shut that down, that's just idiotic. This guy, he only says the word so perfectly, the way he breaks it down, that our simple minds can put it together. Oh, he breaks it down like super craziness. 2 plus 2 is 4, and you're going, oh shit. I watched Steve-O go, whoa, no way, because normally I've seen him in podcasts like when people are talking a little bit off, and he'll just like, dude, I don't believe that's stupid. Like legit, Steve was like, okay, he goes, the way you worded that, like I could see like what you're talking to, like you literally had to like sit down and be sunned, and listen, like okay, break it down, because it was legit like craziness. I couldn't believe it myself. I was like, man, this guy's breaking it down like all these things, which is weird for me too because I believe there's UFOs and shit like that. I just believe I don't know enough to say there's not, and I'd be stupid to think that there's a whole universe and we're the only living thing, and then I also think we'd be stupid not to believe in religion because it's like we don't think anything's grander than ourselves. Like we really think that it was an organism that started the earth. Like where did the organism come from? Like there's that argument, and then it's like then they're stupid to not believe in science, and then all these things I believe in, and then this guy was able to go, yeah, cuz you believe them all because they're all real, but they all conflict, right? Only because nobody's been able to route it to way it works. And dude, he breaks it down like I have never heard, and need to watch it again to hear the rest because there was like still an hour of him dropping gems. And it could be all bullshit, but at the end of the day, I was like, man, that's a great angle. You know what I mean? Like you had to be like, we could smoke and have that angle all day. That I would just be like eating that up and going, man, I'm gonna have to ponder on that for a month or five, because that the way he was breaking it down, it was like, man, I never. And he's just like breaking down where he has all the history behind it. Like he's not just like puking out dumb stuff. He's like, there's stuff, and even if it's not legit, I have nothing better to say that says it is, and like, cause he's like acknowledging the Bible with it, so you can't go, well, no, the Bible says like, exactly, and this is how, and so he'll like tie the pieces together, and he's like, well, the science says, and perfect, and this is why that and how that worked in the book. Do you notice that this was for that? And kind of crazy the way he broke down some of that stuff. If anything, something thought provoking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Yeah. Be nice. That's all we have to say.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Be in the moment. Be
Yeah.
the best version of yourself.
Breathe some air. Fast.
I want to
Oh,
leave.
hey, real
everybody
quick.
with something.
Actually, real PS thing. Will was saying on fasting. I have been intermittent fasting for about a month now, and have never felt so much energy and clarity in my life. Like if I have goals or whatever it is for the day, if I choose to eat, I always get groggy and go to sleep and never finish that stuff. All right, something I do, but I have to really muscle through it. I start fasting, and I complete everything plus some. Everything that might have been too much for me to do, plus some, and I am clear, way more focused. I think about how it is to be an animal, and an animal doesn't just have a refrigerator full of food. Like, it just goes, I'm hungry. I think I'll overeat out of this pantry real quick. Or I'll go down to 7-Eleven and get 5 spicy dogs. Like, literally, animal has to go, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten in a couple days. And I don't see anything around here to eat. It has to go forage, find things. If it's a lion, it's got to find like a zebra or whatever, catch it. Meaning it has to exert a bunch of energy, be super alert and functional, like coordinated to catch that thing, be on high alert. So you're hungry. You haven't eaten in 2 or 3 days. You're a lion. Okay, that we are animals, whether you want to believe it or not. And if you don't believe it, turn this thing off, go home, and go to sleep. Bottom line is, we don't have food. Think about animals are built like us too. They have hearts that beat and stomachs and the same organs. So same concept before we had refrigerators and farms and we had figured out societies. If we were cavemen, you had to hunt for something to eat it. So your body's designed to understand and actually operate timing wise that way. So you don't have any food in your system. You're a lion. You haven't eaten for 3 days. It's time to hunt. You're trying to find food. Well, would you think that we've evolved to where you're tired because you haven't eaten? Because right now, as humans, we think, well, I haven't eaten, so I'm tired and I can't think straight because I haven't eaten and I'm tired and I just need some food to feel right. And now I'm getting all these weird feelings. Well, when you're fasting, you actually get more alert. You're actually way more alert. You're on point way more. You're gonna, where people go, I'm getting shaky and I'm just hungry. I just really need to eat. It's like, no, you've been eating so much that your blood sugar's off, and that's why you're feeling all that wild shit. But if you start fasting, believe it or not, you let your body start doing the things that your pancreas release insulin as it's supposed to, and all these other things where it never has to release insulin as it's supposed to. What kills diabetic people? When they eat too much. You know what I mean? You got to let your pancreas do its thing. So you're fasting. You're an animal. It's been 3 days. You see that zebra. Well, people go, well, I haven't eaten, so I have no energy. It's like, no, you have more energy. What does the lion have to do? Exert tons of energy to go to full speed running, catch this thing, muscle it down to the ground, fight it, be alert to even know it was there, seeing the thing, catch it, be freaking hella coordinated, catch it, then eat it, feed his body, and then your body does what it needs to do with that food. As a human, I've experienced those same things. I don't eat. All of a sudden, I'm driving. I haven't eaten for freaking 15 hours. And I'm like super alert. I'm driving better. I'm not like discombobulate. I'm driving better. I just noticed that I'm just like, feel like a cat who's just like you just see everything and you're just like quick. And I feel great and I have energy and I'm not tired. It's the craziest thing, it's like I'm not tired. What number one thing I deal with as I get older is I just get tired and want to go to sleep, and take a nap instead of doing my goals. And there's something to be said about fasting. I was talking to Ali the other day. He came over and he was talking about how like he's been doing it, but he does it like kind of Ramadan style where they don't drink water either. And I'm like, that's a whole nother thing because I'd be drinking a crap ton of water while I'm fasting. But he's like, we don't drink water either. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. But the bottom line is that fasting is something, and that there's got to be something more than just, physically why that's right. You know what I mean? There's obviously something spiritual to it, something more than just that. But however, you were saying it's some evil or whatever. But, I've been fasting, just not overindulging and just eating out of my cupboards, and hence the reason I'm 250 pounds. And if being fat is godly, then I'm the most godly person on earth, you know. But the bottom line is, the more I fast, the more alert, the more I get the things I need to get done. Um, at the beginning, it's just like weaning yourself off of crack, you know what I mean, or anything you're addicted to. And you do get shaky, right? When you get off of heroin, you shake and you get all these things, you're having withdrawals. The same thing with food. When you're used to eating all the time, yeah, at first, it's like, man, you're getting shaky. You can't think straight. You can't do all this because your body has acclimated to always having food. Well, now you're kind of detoxing from eating all the time, and you're becoming sober of food addiction. And yeah, at first it's crazy, but once it's off, your mind is more clear because you're not constantly putting these extra unnecessary substances in your body. Food is an unnecessary substance when overdone and not the way your body's designed. And so it's like you notice that you just, everyone's like, but I get shaky and I can't think straight and I get all blood sugar. It's like, yeah, because you're acclimated to eating nonstop. You're a drug addict. You're a food addict. You know, period. Now your body's adjusting, and in the adjustments, that's where you're feeling withdrawals. It's adjusting to not having that because it's chemically changed to be able to handle that. But I have to say, it's done wonders for me. You know, just not eating all the time, just literally fast. You don't need to eat. And what's funny, as soon as you do that, eventually you're just not even that hungry all the time. You're not even like, I've got to have 50 meals. And clearly, when your body stores enough fat to where you can't fit in your shirts and stuff, you know, is that what so you're eating the right amount then? Your body can just store to where you look 900 pounds, you know, like that's correct? No, I don't think so. And then your body starts having crazy growth, and you're feeding cancers and you're feeding all kinds of stuff when you're that fat, you know. And most who died during COVID, fat people, you know, because we're not healthy when we're fat. It's not good for you, you know. It's bad for your blood has too much stuff, you know. So anyway, I've had a lot of good results off of it. I chose to do it to lose weight, but then after worrying about losing weight, I don't even care if I lose weight anymore. Now I'm just like, man, I'm so clear headed. That's what I'm going for now. Like, if I lose the weight, right on. I'm like, I'm going for like, man, I know I can't eat because if I do, I'm not going to finish anything I'm trying to get done today, you know? And if I have things to get done, you know, fast, you know, of course, take care of your body, put the nutrients in it when you need it, but, you know, don't go overboard, you know? But anyway, just my little PS on the fasting piece.
You got to be very careful of the food you put in your body. I see these lines. I have a, I have a McDonald's in my backyard, and I have never seen lines at McDonald's like I have at this McDonald's around my house, and I am completely shocked at how many people are willing to wait for this horrible food that your body doesn't even know what.
It's like in line for some poison. Like,
I cannot believe
please
it.
poison me.
I've taken pictures of
Tastes
it
good.
several times because I am blown away by people. It's literally people can't even turn in to go into Safeway because the line McDonald's is out in the street. The line to McDonald's is in the street, messing up traffic. Like, what is going on? And then people out here wondering why they're angry all the time, why they're depressed, why they just can't muster up the will to take any action. Wondering why they're susceptible in their thinking to be manipulated. You have to be careful, you know, because the companies controlling it You got to be careful with you got to be careful with that stuff. And, it's your body gets addicted to all the chemicals and everything, so when you deny yourself food, your body's getting withdrawals of all those chemicals, all the stuff you've been putting in, all the bad stuff, the pesticides, herbicides, whatever sides are in there. You know what I mean? The way the food is manufactured a lot of the times, depending on what you eat, it's not manufactured in a way that's good for human consumption. So when you are denying yourself food and you go through this withdrawals and get the shakes, it's because you're addicted to the stuff in the food that you don't need. And then when you get kind of through some of that, the 18th, when you get to about the 18th hour, that's when the magic starts happening.
Yeah,
Around hour
I had one was like an 18-hour. It was like definitely the whole day. The next day, morning till night, till the next day at like 12. And so it was that, and I felt the best when it was like literally I didn't eat the whole day. Woke
You
up.
have to think about this, people listening. You have to think about these sentences, right? I felt better not eating. When do you ever hear that? Usually you hear, man, I need to eat something. I feel bad. No, you don't.
But
You
look at the
know?
trim people that are in
Think about
shape.
this.
Look at the
They
trim
feel
people that
better.
are in shape and look great. The trim people that are in shape and look great. Do you think they choose to eat more than they don't? No, they're choosing not to more than they do. So the people that are trim, their bodies look
And what
great,
they are, and then if they are consuming, they are forcing themselves to consume decent fruits and vegetables, decent stuff,
and they work out like a madman.
and proper proportions. Proportions is the key as well. Proper proportions. Like I'll tell you what, I finally cashed in on Costco because I have a family member who's a lifetimer working there. So I went to Costco, and I've always been. See, now we go back to the topic of the day: excuses. I'd be making excuses why I'm not going to Costco because I know if I go there, I'm going to spend $300. And I'm not trying to go. I'm not trying to go to Costco and spend $300. So I had excuses. Well, guess what? I sucked it up, went to Costco. I walked out less than $100, and it's gonna last a long. It's gonna last a while, and now I can even dial it in even a little further. And what I got, Costco don't play around. Man, half the stuff's in there is organic. Like I got some really good stuff. So when I do my meals, I'm eating good stuff, and I'm getting fuller longer, and I'm feeling better. So, and it's to the point to where you get to the point where you don't even really have to eat, and you're still functioning fine. And if you dial in the proper routine, make it a lot easier on yourself. But yes, don't get caught up by the hype. Don't get caught up by the commercials. Don't get caught up by all the exit signs. Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up with what you're being fed on all your devices. You got to be careful. You got to be careful with your devices and everything you're doing and what you're getting fed, because it's a game, and it's stacked up against us. So you have to be aware of what's going on. And that's why I choose to do the research I've been doing about what's going on, because I do want a basic knowledge of what's going on, and kind of the what seems to be repeating scenarios, so I can prepare myself for endurance during the next wave, because there's a whole other battle going on that's beyond the human conception. There's a whole other war going on, and I'm preparing my armor and getting my house in order for endurance. So, anyways, yes.
All right, guys.
So
Like, comment, subscribe. We've obviously taken a huge left turn. So
I want to leave with I want to end with something on my part at least. And when you people figure it out, type it in the comments. What are the? I think we might start doing this at the end of every show. Actually, we're starting today. We're starting a new thing. So we're gonna leave you with something, and not really give you the answer. So I'm gonna leave you with this. What do they say, or science says, the three main things that humans are made out of? Type it in the comments. That's all I have.
peace out.